Setting up this green screen is such a pain. Hey, what's up everybody? As we all know, February is Black History Month. If you didn't know that, well now you know. And in honor of Black History Month, I wanted to talk about somebody who made a huge mark on our nation's history and the fight for civil rights. This amazing woman refused to give up her seat on a public bus in Montgomery, Alabama. Can you guess who it is I'm talking about? Wrong. Actually, not entirely wrong, because I am going to talk about Rosa Parks, but just in a minute. But before Rosa Parks, there was another woman who refused to give up her seat. Actually, there were several, but the honor of the very first woman to refuse to give up her seat goes to none other than the amazing Claudette Colvin. Now, in a very familiar series of events, Claudette Colvin on March 2nd, 1955, refused to give up her seat on the bus to white folks in defiance of Montgomery City Code. And so she was arrested, jailed, and fined. But what makes Claudette's story so fascinating was not just that she was the very first woman to defy this unconstitutional law, but the fact that she was only 15 years old when this happened. 15! Yes, 15. And actually, it was the Browder versus Gale case, which Claudette was one of 5 plaintiffs, not Rosa Parks' similar lawsuit that went all the way to the United States Supreme Court, which then declared that the state of Alabama and Montgomery's laws mandating bus segregation was unconstitutional. Now, fast forward 9 months later, and the famous Rosa Parks arrest happens on December 1st, 1955. Now, while the Claudette arrest succeeded in the unconstitutional law being overturned by the US Supreme Court, it was Rosa Parks' arrest that led to the Montgomery Bus Boycott, which really was the critical tipping point in the fight for civil rights. So what was it that made Rosa Parks' arrest become the tipping point? Some argue that it was the straw that broke the camel's back, but I'd argue something a little bit differently. And what I believe is that it was the power of community organizing and working together as a collective. You see, back then, Rosa Parks was secretary of the Montgomery chapter of the NAACP. And after her arrest, the NAACP planned for the boycott along with support from the Women's Political Council, the very first group to officially endorse the boycott. And it was through the power of community organizing that on the evening after the very first day of the boycott, that around 18 leaders from the African American community got together to form a new organization called the Montgomery Improvement Association to continue to carry the mantle of the boycott. And who was elected that night to lead the Montgomery Improvement Association? A relatively unknown and unheard of minister by the name of Martin Luther King Jr. So what do we learn from these two incredibly strong African American women? From Claudette Colvin, we learned that age is nothing but a number, and to never underestimate the power of conviction in standing up for what you believe in and being the inspiration for change. And from Rosa Parks, we learn of the power of community organizing, and that when it comes to the power of multiplicity in making a societal impact, that 1 and 1 doesn't give you 2, but it gives you 11. We should all strive to put these lessons to action. And if you want to help spread this message, make sure to share this video with all your friends, and of course to subscribe to my channel. And with that, peace out.